computer. And I'm gonna kick us off with a few announcements and then hand it over to Miss Stephanie, who's going to lead tonight's call on goals. So I hope you guys have a pen and a notebook for you to take some great notes. We have lots of great calls planned for this month, next month, lots of exciting topics. And if you guys ever have something that you really want to talk about, we'll definitely make a call out of it, or we'll definitely get some lives up into the unit so that it's something, because usually if you have a question on it, everyone else does too. So don't be afraid to ask things like that. So just a few quick announcements. Oh, by the way, my name is Kimberly. I don't know everyone yet, so it's nice to meet new faces. And even though I can't see everyone's face on here, see new names. If you were not at a Super Saturday or Super Weekend, Super Sunday this weekend, there's lots of great announcements, and I couldn't obviously go over all of them, but you can always log into your back office, and it will usually be in Coach Breaking News. So a lot of people saw the new 100 morning meltdown, whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? With Jericho. Jericho was actually at our Super Saturday in DC, so that was fun for her to get to do a bunch of Q&A about the program. I did think one of the questions was really good. They're like, what if you don't like working out in the morning? And you could tell she probably hated the name, because she was like, I don't care when you work out. Like, it's just the name. She goes, who doesn't work out in the morning? And more than half the room raised their hands. And she was like, it's just the name, guys. Like, you can do it any time of day. But the whole idea to get up and get going in a positive direction, you know, with the feel that they were going for. So, but there are lots of announcements about the Success Club trip, which we posted. It's in Punta Cana, which is in the Dominican Republic, Leslie. Leslie just informed me. I put that it was in the Dominican Republic, and she said, it's not, it's in Punta Cana. And I was going to give her a little geography lesson. Punta Cana is in the Dominican Republic. So now that we all are clear on that, that's where it is in 2020. So get on the opt-in list. It's free. If you're like, I didn't have a lot of Success Club points, or I'm a new coach, I just signed up, there's still always opportunities. It's just fun to be on that list. You never know if you are going to get an invite. And we have so much fun. You'll see us all going on the cruise soon. So that'll be exciting. There is a competition. I use that loosely. It's more of an opportunity to connect with your teammates, grow your business. There are tons of stats on how well this does grow your business, though. One of them that they mentioned on the National Wake Up Call is people that participate in the Team Cup, which is this February. It's a group of 5 coaches working together. So pick 5 people on this screen, basically, and you team up and you work to have, you know, your best month. You work to enroll more coaches, to have more Success Club points, to work on your invites, to work on your objections, to overcome some things you're not doing, maybe work on social media posting together, and just really to come together as a team to get some fun prizes. Everyone likes to get, I think there's like a cutting board is one of the prizes, like some fun stuff. I know someone said that to me and I was like, really? Like in 7 years or 6 years, I don't own a Beachbody cutting board yet. I apparently need that. But yeah, there's t-shirts and all that fun kind of stuff. So just, we have a Google Drive that Leslie added into the team, and sign up under a leader. We're going to have some more teams because it's one diamond, lifetime diamond per group. So if we see that we need to divide teams up or make more, we can do that. But get your name on there that you want to participate at least. Summit tickets are on sale right now for $155, which is a steal. So if you're not signed up to get to Indianapolis, I highly encourage that you get there. And we're going to do lots of fun stuff as a team together, so I'm excited about that. I put in the events that there's a live power hour the rest of this month led by Rebecca Bain. So she's in our upline. She's very successful. I believe she's 7-star millionaire, been around a long time, a great person to learn from. She has, I don't know, I think she has 6 kids. Maybe she has 5 and is pregnant with 1. It's one of those. She has 5 and is pregnant with 1. Okay. I can't keep up with her and Kelly Brown. She's got a lot of kids and she still manages to do this. Our team is going to host our first Good Vibe Tribe Together sneak peek, so look for that group opening up soon. I will get it posted this week, and the sneak peek will be on Thursday the 31st. It's going to be a Zoom webinar style like this, but the Zoom will actually feed into the group live, so there'll be multiple ways for people to watch it. And then February 4th through 14th, me and several coaches are going to lead a Shakeology group. It will be a 10-day long group, but if you wanted to give options for selling shakes, like you could sell 5 shakes or 7 shakes or 10 shakes, because that even gives you an option. Like if they didn't want to spend $60, I can say, okay, do it for 5 days. Stay in the group and get 10 days of information, but give me 5 days of getting Shakeology in your body for $25. Can you do that for me? Like, you always have like a place to go to, but I'd love them to do it for 10 days, and it will be open. I thought it'd be fun to do kind of a love your body theme for Valentine's. And I like to send out packets. They can always order a sampler pack through Beachbody with 7 different flavors. I have a lot of extra packets usually laying around, so I'll try to send 5, 7, or 10, and I'll throw in some mix-ins like little peanut butter packs or instant coffee. And then I was going to send in like a couple chocolates that says, you know, save these for the 14th as a treat for all your hard work. So you could make it fun, like Valentine's theme, pretty easily. And that's all my announcements. Woo! 8 minutes, Stephanie. Didn't take all your time. You're up, girl.
I'm like, you made me want to join the Shakeology challenge. I'm like, that sounds so fun. So creative. So creative. Well, I jokingly promised to keep this to 2 hours, over 2. So I'm teasing. It's not going to be that long. But, you know, when we started talking about goal setting, I'll tell you a true story. Since I've been a coach almost 6 years. I've set goals probably 0 of those 6 years because I've never really known what it meant to set a goal. And somebody on here probably has that same story. I always was looking at where I was, and I thought, how do I set a rank goal when I don't control the people I work with, right? Like I can't make them rank advance. I can't make them you know, shoot for a different thing. And so I'm a coach right now, and my goal the last couple of years has been a very apathetic, I think I'll go for 2-star. Do y'all think I've gotten to 2-star? No. That is not the energy, the motivation, the passion behind what we're doing. One of my favorite models, I know Kimberly gets probably irritated that I use this all the time, but it's from the Life Coach School, but it's this model. I taught in the team page about this not too long ago, but if you're not familiar with it, I'll give a quick rundown. It's CTFAR, that's probably backwards, but C is circumstance, T is thought, F is feeling, A is action, and R is result. And if you think about the way I used to set my goals, I would set all my goals based on that circumstance. And generally it was like this. It sounded something like this. I'm only a diamond coach, right? That little bit of a negative vibe happening there. But my circumstance was my rank. And so my thought about that was, I don't really have much control over this whole goal setting process. Do y'all ever feel that way? And so my feeling, do you think I was super energized? No. My action was not to become a recruiting powerhouse. And my result is, I'm a diamond coach. If you have ever been that way, or maybe you have set goals in your business, maybe you've set goals, but you feel like you identify with some of what just happened in the latter part of that conversation, then this call is for you, okay? It's time to do things different, because the traditional method probably hasn't served you well in the past. And if you're operating from circumstances, we know we can't change the circumstances, but we can change that thought and that passion behind that. So I want you to, I'm not going to get all hokey, but I loved, how many of you did 2B Mindset mentor training? Raise your hand if you did that. Not a requirement to be here, obviously, But Alana does this great visualization practice, and she has her clients, of course, she's not sitting with anybody on the calls, but she has them visualize what that feeling is after you've gone through the 2B mindset, after you've hit your goal weight, after you've gotten to all these things. And I want you to visualize your after, your coaching after, your coaching future self. Where do you want to be in terms of your goals? And where are you once you've achieved that goal? How do you think? What do you do? How do you show up? How do you see the world? How do you interpret things differently once you've arrived at that place? It's funny, when I was putting these notes together, I was thinking April was actually at Super Sunday with us and Christina. I think Christina's on the line too. And we saw Ashley Smith, who is number 9. She's number 9 coach in the network. And she's adorable. She's fabulous. But we made the comment, she probably never gets a day off, right? She has made it all the way up to the top of the company, and she probably never gets a day off. But she probably doesn't look at it that way. She operates from that person that she wanted to become, from a different mindset. You see the shift already? So it's about, and we've heard this in a lot of different things, but it's really about coming from that abundance mindset instead of the scarcity mindset, so that we work from possibility and not our circumstance. One key, and I learned this from Bob Heilig, and he's probably done some your virtual upline posts about this lately, but he made a point that I loved, that I've never thought about, and I wanted to share with you guys, is that you have to complete your past before you can plan for your future. And here's what that looks like. When you are able to reflect back on the year, so when you look back on 2018, it provides clues for what is and is not working, right? We don't have to look back and just have regret. We can use that information. I mean, I talk about trackers all the time. It's just data. We can use that for our business, right? We can do that. So when you look back on 2018, how many of you did not necessarily have the year that you wanted? Show of hands. Probably everybody on the call. Always room for improvement. Here's what's crazy. This is what, my brain got separated a minute. When you actually look back at your biggest disappointments from last year, they can lead you to your greatest opportunities for this year. But you have to pay attention. This is a little bit like try it, track it, and see, right? Like you get to see these patterns form. So if you want to create goals that stick, and you really can't skip over this critical step. All of the work that we've talked about probably in the last year, whether you've been just on Kimberly's team or Dream Big, or you've participated in Team Courage or even Freedom Fighters, or just listen to a podcast in the world, you constantly hear talk of higher brain, right? Prefrontal cortex, our planning brain, the higher brain, versus the animal brain, right? The brain, the part of your brain that's more habitual. I like it when Brooke Castillo always says it's like a toddler with a knife. That's your animal brain. Your goal-setting brain is your conscious brain, okay? But your goal-getting brain is your subconscious. Think about that for a minute. So if we live up here in this cerebral, planning, fun place, right, that separates us from animals, and we're setting our goals, but we're getting our goals based on the white noise that goes on in our lives, our identity, right? What we really believe about ourselves, who you believe you are at the core. And I'm not saying like God-given identity. I'm talking about who you believe you are. Those goals that you set with this brain are never going to match up with this brain. That's huge. And I'll give you an example of what that might look like. If you're somebody who signs up for a program, you signed up for T20, or your client signs up for T20, and they think they are fat, they think they are out of shape, they think they will never be able to do it, But they say to you in their goal getter brain, or goal setter brain rather, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sign up for this program. I'm going to show up in the group. But their goal getter part back here is like, you're a fatty. You're never going to do this. And so they end up dropping out of the challenge. Does that ever happen to y'all? Challengers quitting, right? It's the same thing with our goals with the business. So if you have, and I'll give you some business examples. If you have a low sense of self when it comes to earning money, if you've ever thought, I wouldn't even know what to do with $10,000 a month, $60,000 a month, $1 million a year, $10 million a year, that would never be me. That will impede your goal setting and goal getting possibility. If you believe that you don't actually deserve to win in this business, and I think all of us kind of go through that curve a little bit, especially in the beginning. Or I thought about this morning, are y'all all doing T20? Most people doing T20. Did you stay till the end when he showed his before picture? And it gripped me when he said, I still see that chubby man in me. He still sees that. Like, he's still having to work on that. That was his identity for so long. So here's the thing. When you take those disappointments from last year and you turn them into opportunities from this year, coupled with a new identity and a new belief system, that's when we can blow the lid off. That's when we call these breakthrough goals. And so when we talked about goal setting, I could have taught from SMART goals. Y'all have heard SMART goals. If you've ever listened to Chalene Johnson, if you've ever been on a national wake-up call, if you've typed in goal setting into Google, you're going to get SMART goals. Melanie Mitro does some great goal setting stuff on SMART goals. But if who you are becoming doesn't line up with your goals, there will always be a problem. So that's the place that we can change the thought about who we are becoming, okay? It's the hardest piece. And you're not going to leave this call without homework, so you're welcome. You're welcome. Here's the thing. If you've done 2B mindset at all, you know that hard work that you do in the mind and the heart really pays off. I have seen, and I'll speak for me personally, I've seen more progress and more breakthrough in my mindset in the last 6 months since we've started that group, this program, than I have in years. And I haven't had to pay for a therapist. So 2019 can be the breakthrough year for all of us. And what is a breakthrough? I'm going to just give a quick definition of what a breakthrough is. It's creating, accomplishing, or experiencing something you previously didn't think was possible or available to you. That's a pretty wide open statement. It doesn't just mean income or team growth. Maybe it's getting over the fear of doing live videos. I know none of y'all have that fear. Maybe it's working through your personal story that you aren't enough. Maybe it's getting down and dirty with that. Maybe it's getting a hand on your actual physical health. Maybe it's not hiding in the pantry. Getting through those things would create a breakthrough year for you. Okay? So, what does that mean? What does that look like? Give us the nuts and bolts. I want you to think big. I know we talk about all the time, dream big, dream big, dream big. But here's the thing. You really have to believe that you are that future self. Okay? Where you're headed, who that person is. Okay. I've covered what I wrote down. All right. So let's dig in. We want to reflect on the first thing we want to do. This is going to be a set of 4 reflection questions. We're going to call this closing the loop on 2018. And the cool part about this is that whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, you get a chance to reflect on things, make observations on things, and then mentally, I feel like it's the Marie Kondo, whatever her name is, like the magic art of tidying up. I loved you 2018. Now you go on the shelf and we're done. All right. But number 1, reflect on last year. And you can do this as we're talking, but I would encourage you to really go back and do this again. Make space for this. In fact, Carl might disagree with me, but I would say put this on your power hour for tomorrow because it's super important. All right, so reflect on last year. How would you grade your performance? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, give yourself a grade. But don't be discouraged. This is not a time for shame or guilt or any of that. This is just rooting yourself in the reality of where your business is or was last year, okay? What have I done in the past? I have maybe not had a great year one year, and then I have a resolution. I say I'm just gonna put my head down, my blinders on, and get going, right? We've all done that. But we're not taking full awareness of where we came from. So I would encourage you, number one, it shouldn't take long to reflect on last year and grade yourself. Number two, we talk so much about gratitude in the morning. We're doing Miracle Morning. We're journaling our gratitude. We're teaching it to our challengers. But what did you accomplish that you're most proud of last year? Because it's super easy to say all the things we did wrong. But I want you to slow down and express gratitude for what you've done. And it goes back to that, what we focus on, our energy flows to, right? So when we start to say, okay, maybe I missed a couple of things last year. Let's really, and I would encourage you, I don't know if you can scroll through your phone, go through your planner, look through your business tracker, but go week by week. And also keep in mind, this isn't just business. You might have had some big personal wins to share gratitude over, okay? So go through those things. Are you a better mother or father? Did you do some work in the community that you should be super proud of? Are some things that you accomplished in your business? Did you recruit some new people? Whatever those are, there's nothing too small to be grateful for it. All right, number three, what disappointments or regrets did you have in 2018? And this goes back to where I started the call with, where we have these feelings of regret over something really are the strongest area of opportunity for us to improve. I love that. It's like redemption for the things that went wrong. We get to change them. This might be painful, but it can be such a great teacher for us. So look at possibly you had those regrets to teach you something, because you have to go through it to get over it, right? You can't be a 15-star diamond coach if you've never had a hard time recruiting, right? But if you can look at that and observe that and change that for this year, you'll be unstoppable. Michael Hyatt has studied, he's got a bunch of stuff out studying regret, and he said that feelings of disappointment and dissatisfaction are strongest where our chances of correction are the greatest. It's those things that provide the foundation of saying, that is something I need to focus on. And again, this can pertain to personal life, relationships, business, personal health. Remember, you are not just a Beachbody robot, you are a whole person, right? So a lot of times when we're out of alignment in one area, it's gonna roll over and affect the other areas. So think about that kind of reflective all the way across. And when you acknowledge the past, the hard part is I want you to feel all the feels, feel the emotion. Feel the emotion. Maybe you missed a rank advancement. Feel the emotion. Maybe you had somebody quit that you were really close to. Feel the emotion. Maybe you couldn't pay for a trip that you wanted to go. Feel the emotion for that, okay? But when we fail to reflect, we get stuck. All right, number 4, what major lesson did you learn? What major aha, and it could be ahas, but you probably had a couple of really big ones, did you learn from 2018? Because we want to learn and we want to close the loop. I feel like Alana, we're either learning or we're losing. She doesn't have a high-pitched voice, but if she did. So if we're going to create from possibility, we have to move past our current skills and responsibilities. A lot of us, this one given the call, a lot of us have one foot in 2018 and one foot in 2019. And so your homework tonight is to pull the 2018 foot out and have it join you in 2019, okay? So you get to hold yourself accountable for what you need to improve on. And that improvement list is what we just went over, which is exciting, right? Like that's super cool. And in this team, we can share these things. We can talk about, I didn't realize that I was super stuck in X, Y, and Z. Anybody else have that? Let's brainstorm some ways to work through that. Okay, so once you've done those 4 steps, this is the time we get to create the breakthrough goals. This is also the time that I would say you're going to need some quiet time. So maybe Saturday or Sunday, schedule yourself at a coffee shop alone, okay? And here's what I want you to imagine. More visualization. Ta-da! It's December 31st of 2019, okay? It's December 31st, and you feel the magnitude of the year that you've had. It's an incredible year. I have chills thinking about it. You have become that woman that you were hoping and dreaming for. You became that leader. You became that spouse. You became that mother. You became that employee. And so on the eve of the new year, on the eve of 2020, you're reflecting back and you're just taking stock of everything that you accomplished. And so there's 4 things. Apparently, we like 4s. But there's 4 things I want you to think about, okay? So number 1, and you're thinking about this looking back on 2019, okay? What did I do, create, experience, or accomplish in 2019 in order to claim this as a breakthrough year? And I want you to start with yourself. I want you to think about, was it spirituality, faith, wellness? Was it leadership in your business? Was it relationship? Was it experiences? Did you travel somewhere that you'd never been to? Was it charity involvement? What was it? And remember what I said about breakthrough things. These are areas that you would have never thought that you would have attempted or had exposure to. And when you're done, when you've made that list, when you've kind of exhausted your brain process on that, when you're done, I want you to go through and I want you to highlight the ones that get you most excited. Now this sounds weird because you're like, but it didn't actually happen, but in your mind it will, okay? So you've made this list of all these things that you're gonna accomplish. Then I want you to get out the highlighter. This is not, but then you're gonna highlight them, okay? Now I want you to narrow down that list to 7 to 10 things that really light you up, like you can't wait to share these with other people. And those 7 to 10 things should get you freaking excited, like super excited, all right? And then if it's not already on there, I want you to add a specific rank advancement goal from 2019. And the reason behind that is, obviously we're running a business, but that's something super tangible that we can all track and we can grow. All right, so you've reflected back, you've made your list of all the things that you accomplished, you knocked it out of the park in 2019, you've highlighted them, you've got a handful of things that get you just pumped, all right? Number 2, the next question I want you to think about as you're looking backwards over 2019 is, having accomplished all of this, what did I do differently in 2019? And here's where you're gonna look at me crazy, but you're gonna stand up out of your chair and you're gonna say that out loud. Here's what I did differently in 2019, until something comes to you. Okay, I don't recommend doing this part in the coffee shop, and you're gonna say that over and over, audibly, okay, out loud, because your physical body can control what the physical mind experiences, all right? And y'all can think I'm hokey until you're like, holy crap, this worked, all right? And I want you to keep asking yourself over and over until you get a list on this. What did I do differently in 2019? Oh yeah, that, write it down. What did I do differently? You get it? Okay. I won't act out that whole one for like half an hour. But number 3, what did I have to let go of? That's a hard one for a lot of us. What did I have to let go of? And I want you to put some words around the most important feelings about yourself and the business, okay? Maybe you had to let go of listening to some extra podcasts. Maybe you had to let go of bunko night. Maybe you had to create more business hours. Maybe you had to let go of trying to run 6 different groups plus a tracker app. I don't know. Only you're going to know, but you're going to have to think back on your 2019. What did you have to let go of? And then finally, number 4, and this just culminates everything that we've talked about. Number 4 is, who was I being that created this? Who was I being? This is another one that I'm going to tell you, you got to stand up. Who was I being? I was being brave. Who was I being? I was being relentless. Who was I being? You're going to find out who that woman, and if any dudes are listening to this, who that man is that you became in 2019 that helped you accomplish your goals. And then I want you to take massive action. And I don't want you to misunderstand action. Massive action is not doing a lot of work. Massive action is not staying busy all the time. Massive action is doing the work until you achieve the results you want. Kind of in that as long as it takes philosophy. Okay? I would be willing to bet you might already have your SMART goals. You might already have them for this year. But if you walk yourself through this process, if you allow yourself, if you give yourself permission to take off the business tracker for a day or half a day or on a Saturday and go through this, you will uncover things about you that will light you up for this year, that will set you apart for this year. You will have breakthroughs in your mindset. And then as a team, we can really rally around each other for this. Okay, totally not what you were expecting. I know. What questions do you have?
I thought it was great because it's new, it's different. Stephanie posted a picture today. I didn't comment when you posted this, but you know, when you got that stuff printed from
Canva?
Yeah, but the box was the exact same quote that I posted on my wall this morning. I don't know if you saw that, and I was like, that's bizarre. So she had this box from a delivery that she texted today, and the quote is, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And it was the same quote I posted this morning, and I was like, that's weird. Anyways, it kind of goes really well with this call too. Like, it does seem impossible when you say some of these things, like, and try to believe that you're that person, but until it's done, like all of our challengers think it's impossible to lose 30 pounds until it's done, and they do it. So anyways, thought that was fun.
And I have to say, like, that's one thing. I mean, I've always been the person, I mean, you can judge me. I've always thought it was like really hokey to do the whole visualization thing. But if you watch the people who are super successful, it doesn't even have to be like in the coaching business. It could be athletes. It could be really anybody visualizing what the outcome is going to be over and over again until it happens. And that's no different if we have a hang up in our, self-belief. We can visualize that person over and over again until we become her. Until God shapes us into her.
More of a mindset. Absolutely. Yeah. All top athletes do it. They even start teaching it to kids. My kids have to do it with swimming, like visualizing the stroke and visualizing their breath. And it's crazy. They do teach it from a super young age. So I had a call, and then we can wrap it up unless there's any questions, but I had a call with someone earlier today, and we were just talking as coaching and friends, but without even talking about limiting beliefs. But she said out loud that, she just wants to help people that come to her. She doesn't really want to like beg people to join her, which is a common thing I hear when it comes to inviting. Unfortunately, I want to remind you guys that 1% of people see your posts. So think about that. I mean, if you have 100 friends, only one of them seeing your post. If you have 1,000 friends, only 10 of them are seeing them. If you have 20, I see the same people in my newsfeed all the time. I have to search out to find different people, and you're just not seeing them. they're just not seeing them. So that's why it's important for us to reach out to other people. But she went on to say that she feels like, based on other top coaches or other people that make large amounts of money that are all business and maybe lose friendships or whatever, that she didn't realize this, but I pointed it out because she has a limiting belief that she can't make a certain amount of money and still retain coaching friendships and relationships. Like, it then has to become separate. Like, this is business and they're not my friends anymore. And I said, that's why you're not making any more money. You have this limiting belief that you can't do both. And it's no different than some of you guys might have been on a call last year with a girl that was talking about limiting beliefs. And she had a limiting belief. I can't remember her name. Sorry. She had a limiting belief that she couldn't be a good stay-at-home mom and build this business. She couldn't do both. So it kept her from ever building the business. And whether you say those things out loud or it takes getting on a phone call with your coach or a friend and kind of processing some things, or going through an exercise like this, if you really let yourself go and brainstorm and take up pages and journal, you'll start to see some reoccurring themes. And it might be like, wow, I'm not making more because I think that something bad will happen, or I'm not growing because I think I'll be a bad mom, or I think it'll ruin my marriage if I get too big. Things like that are holding you back. And those thoughts aren't justified. There's no reason that you can't have it all. Like, you can be a good mom and be a good coach and be a good wife. That's just about priorities, which could be a whole nother call that we could certainly talk about, like, establishing what your priorities are and what's important. So, I need lots of those phone calls, Shannon said. You got it, girl. But that was great, Stephanie. I appreciate it. Anything else anyone else wants to share or ask? I love the challenge of approaching this year differently. Me too, April. This was neat because it's very different. So you're right. We all know how to do push goals. And if you're like, what are you talking about? Just look up SMART goals or SMART goals. It's everywhere. So this is unique. Anything else, Stephanie?
No, I just think it's super exciting to have our first team call together. Good vibe, tribe.
Me too. So I will get team calls up in a unit section that will be 2019 team calls and have a title, and you can go back and refer to them, and it'll be easy to find. That way, if you have a new coach come on that's like, girl, dive into this goals call, or dive into this priorities call, or dive into this I'm overwhelmed call, or whatever topics we have, will be easy to find for everyone. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely do a unit, Kayla. All right, guys. Well, this was fun. It was good to see your faces, and we kept it under 45 minutes. Go team. Now we can go get your sleep, check your sleep box off. I was supposed to be dinner and done, but I ate 4 lifesavers, unfortunately, sitting here. So, oh well. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.